I want to talk about Whoopi Goldberg because I got so many this week because she attacked me the week before.
Sure.
So everybody was like, oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma. First of all, I'm going to talk about this at the end of my show next week, teaser. But there is no thing as karma, okay? Get over that. Whoopi attacks me on a regular basis. She says stupid on a regular basis. It just happened to coincide.
Sausage maker Johnsonville is recalling more than 42,000 pounds of pork sausage for possible contamination with plastic fibers. Fortunately, authorities were able to track all 42,000 pounds to a single location in New York City.
Whoopi Goldberg just had a major on-air meltdown, and no, it wasn't because of cold coffee or bad camera angles. Bill Maher and Greg Gutfeld joined forces for a sharp verbal takedown that had everyone talking. So what did they say that seemed to push The View's biggest star over the edge? Let's just say by the time it was over, even her Oscar looked like it wanted to leave the shelf. Buckle up, because this wasn't just another TV clash. It turned into a moment people won't forget.
It's so cute when one of their side gets punished. They sulk like they ran out of raw cookie dough in the green room. Yeah, ABC suspended Whoopi for 2 weeks because she said the whole had nothing to do with race. She said this on a show called The View, which makes everything about race. Except now.
The Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race.
It's about a different race.
But it's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man.
Yeah, that's heroically stupid.
Whoopi Goldberg has long acted as one of the biggest voices on The View, running the show with confidence. Guests are often put on the spot, opinions are delivered with plenty of attitude, and almost no topic is off limit. But this time, the spotlight shifted. But this time that caught everyone off guard. Whoopi wasn't leading the conversation. She found herself at the center of it, and the ones putting on the pressure, Bill Maher and Greg Gutfeld. Together, they delivered a series of sharp remarks that left the daytime TV veteran looking completely caught off guard.
Liberal privilege, Whoopi hangs on, which is fine since she apologized. But not before digging an even deeper hole than the one in her head.
And finally, new rule. Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma. Sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
Instead of sounding thoughtful or balanced, Whoopi's monologue quickly ran into a wave of criticism. Here was someone many critics say has spent years deciding which opinions deserve a platform, now talking about the value of open conversation and tolerance. To some, the contrast was hard to ignore. You could almost picture the audience raising an eyebrow at the moment. That's when Bill Maher and Greg Gutfeld, never once to let an opening slip away, stepped in and delivered their responses with sharp timing.
That not everyone on that platform or who consumes stuff on that platform enjoys. And The View is a particularly weird place to do a cancellation.
It's called The View?
It's called The View. It's not called The Facts.
Yeah, but isn't it interesting that it's called, I mean, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America. There is one view,
right, and
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit in the corner.
That's correct.
That was the moment Bill Maher, wearing his trademark smirk, jumped in. He didn't raise his voice or lose his cool. Instead, he used his sharp wit to point out what he saw as a clear contradiction. Whoopi talking about free speech while, in his view, often dismissing opinions she disagrees with on her own show. Greg Gutfeld quickly joined in, adding his usual mix of sarcasm and pointed remarks. He argued that Whoopi came across less like a fearless commentator and more like someone enforcing a double standard. By the end of it all, the conversation had completely shifted, and Whoopi found herself defending her position instead of leading the discussion.
Yesterday on The View, otherwise known as Hell's DMV, Whoopi Goldberg asked how much different are the values of the Trump administration from the ban.
We have a leader who has repeatedly demeaned women, wants to defund organizations that benefit women, calling on the media to shut up,
specifically wants to give preferential treatment based on religion. Are these values really much different than the bans?
Wow. Talk about groundbreaking to actually hear a celebrity say something mean about the ban. How dare they compare them to Trump? The ban should sue. Guess they ran out of analogies. So as they bash the president, I'm reminded how entertainers rarely express any rage over any strand of misogynist ism. If they did, we might take their rage toward Trump seriously. A reminder that throw at girls' faces for going to school. Yeah, I guess that's like defunding Planned Parenthood.
Then Greg Gutfeld stepped in like a late-night comic with perfect timing and plenty of sharp one-liners. While Bill Maher made his points with wit, Gutfeld leaned into sarcasm, and Whoopi seemed caught off guard. He didn't just point out what he saw as her contradictions, he lined them up one after another. He argued that she talks about tolerance but often cuts off opposing views, and praises open debate while criticizing those who challenge her perspective. With his trademark grin, Gutfeld suggested that Whoopi's idea of discussion feels more like a one-way speech than a real conversation. The room didn't explode with reactions, it went quiet. Whoopi tried to change the tone and defend her position, but Maher and Gutfeld stayed calm. They simply kept making their points, and by the end, the focus had shifted from the debate itself to questions about her credibility.
I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bill Maher, who has been the standard bearer for liberalism and in many ways leftism until the woke went bananas in this last decade, but for decades, that's what this guy has represented in America. I want you to note the tone they all talk with him. I want you to look at Sonny Hostin's body language and the way they look at him and everything else, just because he is a lefty who hasn't gone completely bananas.
Gutfeld took one look at Whoopi's attempts to regain control and didn't let up. He wasn't trying to win a deep philosophical debate. Instead, he used humor to keep the pressure on. Every time she tried to change the subject or defend her position, he answered with another sharp one-liner. His biggest strength was turning what he saw as her contradictions into the center of a joke. Whoopi tried to show she was still in charge, but Gutfeld's humor kept stealing the moment. Rather than making long arguments, he flipped her own words back at her, making them the punchline. As the exchange continued, her confidence appeared to fade while the audience focused on Gutfeld's relentless style. By the end, the conversation had completely shifted, and Whoopi was left struggling to regain the spotlight as Maher and Gutfeld finished making their case.
By the way, out there, that hat that you keep wearing, that red hat that says "Make America Great Again," that tells people that you go along with this. So you might as well just put a swastika on the hat.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Because we see it anyway.
I'm not going to defend Donald Trump ever, but I would never say that we should put the swastika on the cap, because I think you can hate Donald Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. It's half the country. I don't want to live in that country. I don't want to live in the country where I hate half the country, and I don't hate half the country.
How dare you disagree?
Greg Gutfeld's strength has never been just the facts, it's the way he delivers them. He has a talent for turning political clashes into memorable comedy, and when he focused on Whoopi, he treated the moment like the perfect setup. Rather than picking apart every argument, he relied on humor and sarcasm to make his point. With each joke, he challenged not only her opinions, but also the confident image he has built over the years on daytime TV. His style was simple, sharp, and easy for audiences to follow. While Bill Maher leaned on debate, Gutfeld leaned on punchlines, and they kept landing. Whoopi struggled to regain control as the exchange unfolded, and the clips quickly spread online, where viewers continued sharing and reacting to the moment. Before long, the conversation had grown far beyond the TV studio.
Their brains are small. But who's the dumbest one of all? True, none of them are in Mensa, but who's the most densa? Perhaps it's Sonny who mastered the art of making idiots look smart. Now, The View could ask a mirror who's the dumbest one of all, but there's no way that glass doesn't shatter.
But let's not focus only on the criticism. It's worth looking at Whoopi's effort to defend herself. She clearly pushed back, and that's not surprising. After all, she spent decades as one of the biggest faces on daytime television. This time, though, she found herself facing two commentators known for sharp humor and quick comebacks. There was no easy way out. She tried to respond, rolled her eyes at times, and worked to defend her position, but the pressure kept building. For someone used to leading the conversation, being on the defensive was a very different experience. Her usual confidence didn't seem to carry the moment the way it normally does. What made the exchange stand out was the bigger picture. It wasn't just another TV disagreement. It became a clash of different styles, personalities, and political viewpoints. Bill Maher approached it from his own brand of old-school liberalism, while Whoopi defended a more progressive perspective. Add Greg Gutfeld's sarcasm to the mix, and the discussion quickly turned into one of those TV moments that sparked debate far beyond the studio.
Those hens are always clucking. They get to say stupid stuff for an hour every day, and then I get to say stupid stuff for an hour every day, except on purpose. But every now and then, one of those dingbats inadvertently says something that reveals modern liberal thought so perfectly it deserves further study. You know, like a weird serpent that washed up on the beach and you want to poke it with a stick.
Then Greg Gutfeld added even more fuel to the fire. He's built his career on using satire to challenge ideas he disagrees with, and this moment fit right into his style. It felt less like a normal TV debate and more like a clash of completely different viewpoints. On one side was Bill Maher, known for his old-school liberal approach and willingness to criticize political correctness. On the other was Whoopi Goldberg, defending a more progressive perspective. Gutfeld stepped in with sarcasm and humor, turning the exchange into one of the most talked about moments of the discussion. What made it stand out was the bigger picture. It reflected a growing divide in political commentary, where many viewers say they're looking for open debate instead of one-sided conversations. They want humor, criticism, and different opinions all in the same discussion. Whether people agreed with Maher, Gutfeld, or Whoopi, the exchange sparked a much bigger conversation that reached far beyond the view.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. Well, not if you're Whoopi Goldberg, aka Karen Johnson. Yeah, who knew Whoopi was a Karen? I thought that was only for white people, like Toyota Priuses and skiing.
Maher's message is simple. I'm still a liberal, but some of this has gone too far. At the same time, Gutfeld uses humor to challenge ideas he disagrees with, turning political debates into punchline. Together, they presented a sharp contrast to The View, a show many critics see as resistant to opposing viewpoints. For years, Whoopi has been one of the strongest voices, but this exchange shifted the spotlight. Instead of leading the discussion, she found herself defending her position. In the end, the moment became about more than one TV debate. It reflected a broader conversation over politics, free expression, and public debate. Meanwhile, Maher continued to strengthen his reputation among viewers who appreciate his willingness to criticize both sides while holding on to his longtime liberal views.
So that makes Sunny Hostin, who thinks climate change caused the solar eclipse, the dumbest of them all. Because everyone knows the moon caused the eclipse, which is controlled by The View's gravitational pull.
Then there's Greg Gutfeld, whose influence in late-night TV has continued to grow. His sharp humor and quick delivery turned the exchange into a widely shared moment that reached far beyond his usual audience. Clips spread across social media, and the debate quickly became one of the biggest talking points online. As for Whoopi, she remains one of the leading faces of The View, but many critics felt this exchange challenged the image of being untouchable. Whether fair or not, it sparked fresh debate about her role and approach on the show. More than anything, the moment reflected a changing media landscape where even longtime TV personalities faced tougher public scrutiny. In the end, supporters of Maher and Gutfeld saw the debate as a major win for their style of commentary, while others viewed it differently. One thing is certain, the exchange generated plenty of discussion, and its impact stretched well beyond the studio, making it one of the most talked about TV moments in recent memory.